All right, awesome. So, guys, is this I'm gonna try to get through this session tonight. It's been placed on my heart, and I think it's really turned into like ministry for me, to make sure that you ladies, gentlemen who are starting childcare businesses are not just drawn into the industry by lights and shiny objects. Okay, not just drawn into the industry by what social media is showing you about, how beautiful it is, how much money you can make, and you'd be the 6, 7 figure income earner. Now, this is the thing. It's true. That is true. The childcare industry, if I had to do it all over again, I would. I really would. Because I love that I was selected to make an impact on the lives of the children and the families that I impacted over the 24 years. However, if you're looking to get into this industry and you're looking to start your childcare business, number one, or if you presently own and operate or you're a provider in your business, you really need to know why you're doing this. Do not get into this business because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have all the freedom in the world, because that may not necessarily be the case in the beginning. Do not get into this business because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be making a lot of money, because guess what? It comes with its ups and it comes with its downs. Okay. Do not get into this business because you think that you're going to get rich, because um, that may not happen. Okay. It may go the other direction. All right. But know this, if you truly have a desire on your heart to touch the lives of children, to make an impact on moms and dads who need that safe space for their children, to be that second home for children, that place of refuge, so that kids can come into your program and you can embrace them with loving arms, provide them with the education that they need to move forward, then you're in the right business. Okay? And that's important, because if that's what you have supporting you, that will get you through the tough times. Okay? When you decide to get into this because you want to get rich quick, um, you you may quit. Like, I'm just gonna be honest with you. You may quit. In my 24 years of doing childcare business, I have experienced the good, the great, the bad, and the super ugly. Okay. And that's why I find it on my heart right now to only speak to those who God is calling into this space. That may not be everyone. I may not be the coach for everyone. And I'm just going to let you know before I continue, if that offends you, you're on the wrong channel, because that's just who I am and that's how I roll. Okay? But I'm going to say this without getting emotional. Through all of the good, the bad, and the ugly, I know that I was called into this ministry to embrace those mothers when they could not trust anyone with their babies. If you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? I know that I was called into this this industry to be that vessel of prayer for mothers when they had no other place to go for their children. But with that, I said I'm going to try not to get emotional, okay? With that, I know that I've made major impacts on lives. I still have connections today with the now 20 somethings that I used to change diapers with. And the moms, they still connect with me today. And it feels great to know that I helped a mother put food on her table, because when her child was kicked out of another program, I was able to handle it through the grace of God. When she could not afford daycare, I was able to bless her in certain ways, right? When she did not know what to do because of certain situations and needed an expert to decipher and get her through certain situations, as a woman to woman, I was able to provide that. And through all of those years, when I fought the good fight, and I told God I didn't want to be a daycare person, guys, I was working in legal. Okay. He plucked me. He plucked me and said, "You're going into daycare." And I said, "No, I'm not." Okay. This is my truth. He said, "No, you're going into daycare." And I said, "I'm going to think about it." But when he pulled me in, when you walk by faith, ladies and gentlemen, and you know you're called for something and you don't run from it and you don't look at the natural, right? What you see in front of you immediately, and you just move by faith, there's no lack. Abundance comes, right? As you do his work unto the children and the families, you can absolutely do one for special needs kids. But as you do his work for children and for families, that's when the blessings come. But you have to be able to have knowledge and be prepared for the storms, okay? Because listen, nobody's exempt. The storms are going to come. But this is where you guys out there have an upper hand over what I had when I first started childcare, because I was just placed into it. There were no coaches and there was no one to give me guidance. So I fell through a lot, and I bumped into a lot of people who didn't like what I was doing, right? People who were vindictive, people who were jealous, right? This is the world. This is the natural world that we live in. And this is why I stress so much on policies and procedures. Guys, don't give yourself the fallacy that you're going to have the best culture out there, okay? And you're going to do everything that you possibly can for your team so nothing's going to happen to you. Do not give yourself that fallacy way of thought, because no one is exempt. No one is exempt. Now, I've been speaking so much about policies and procedures, but whenever I say policies and procedures, people think like, health and safety, which are policies and procedures. Absolutely. But what people do not think about is how to save your business from those who want to sabotage you. I just saw a post today in a group where, and I've known women who have gone through this through the years, someone was actually, stressing because she had an inspection done that could possibly shut down her program, right? Could possibly shut down a program. Listen, whether it be somebody made a phone call on her and it's not true, or it is. But where the pain comes in is when it's not true and these phone calls happen. People are so vindictive and they are so jealous that the ones, and I'm trying to watch my phrase of wording, but the ones that are out there who don't want to see you succeed for whatever reason will make up anything within their power to bring you down. This is the truth to bring you down. And this is why you have to make sure that you have certain protections. Because, see, people don't think this is how you feed your family. People don't think that this is your livelihood. People don't think about the impact it's going to make for everybody that you're leading, right? They don't think about that. They just think, oh, well, who does she think she is? Oh, I'm going to get her. Oh, she's blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. This is why, ladies, you have to have certain paperwork, policies in place to protect you. I don't care if you're family, in your home daycare, or commercial setting. Okay? People will be people no matter how much you do for them. When I tell you, I can't wait for Childcare 360 to come where I could share the full disclosed story of why I'm standing here today. And I truly feel like I'm on assignment to touch someone out there who may be going through or experiencing something in their program, or those who want to start a program but have certain fears, right? Or those who really want to do right by children, but they're afraid. And we don't have to be, as long as you put certain protections in place for yourself. See, there's one thing that I've learned is when you have these certain policies and protections in place for yourself, you are at an advantage. Not to say that everyone's going to follow them 100%. That's the truth, right? But you have an option. You're giving yourself a choice. You're giving yourself a choice. The worst place, which I remember when I first started in childcare, and I didn't even put policies and procedures in place. You know why? Because I didn't understand them. I didn't understand the regs. I didn't understand why we had to have these policies and procedures. I couldn't figure out why they were needed. I was told that I needed them. I followed the little template that they gave me, but I really could not understand. It just behooved me. But once I really discovered how it could protect me from those on social media, from those who walked into my program that maybe didn't like the way I looked, from those who didn't like the way the paint looked on the wall, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And I had a choice. Now I was talking a different game. Okay. But when you don't have these protections, you're opening yourself up to risk, to segregation. I'm sorry if you guys are laughing with me. Okay. Sabotage. You're opening up yourself to deceit, bashing, defamation. Like, seriously, all of these things. When I tell you the levels of things that I've had to go through, it's crazy as a childcare business owner. And that's why I say when you have a firm backbone and you know why you are working with children, you know the reason why you're called to your ministry, to your business, to make that impact. You know that every single day, no matter what, I knew every day I woke up and walked into my downstairs in my home or my center when I had my center, because I had multiple, right, places, that there was a child that needed me. There was a mother that needed me. And this knowledge that I've gained only has come through a lot of errors and trials. And I firmly believe that if you are in a program in your first couple of years, or you're in a program but you really have gone through some things and don't know how to get out of it, or if you're looking to start your childcare business and the only thing on your mind right now is getting yourself opened, all the pretty toys and cribs and all paints and all this kind of stuff you're going to do, I implore you to tap in to this knowledge, to use it to better your program, because we all learn through trial and error unless we have the knowledge that you need in the beginning to prevent you from some of those trials. And that's the name of the game, to prevent yourself from some of the trials. Listen, this is what I don't understand. We could go out and buy all these great pocketbooks, get our nails done. It's $100 a pop every time you walk into the shop, right? Right? Or I don't know, lunch if you work out, outside and you go to lunch every day and you're buying lunch $50, $100 easy a week, but you won't invest in your own security, in your own knowledge that you need for your business. You won't take the time to do that. Is there no value in that for yourself? But there's value in that nail salon, which, hey, listen, I get my nails done too. So, you know what I'm saying? We're talking real talk here right now. It's like sitting down with, your mom or your parents or your grandmother, some of the older ones that can school you and educate you on life. And you're like, oh, no, no, no. But then when you get older, you're like, oh my God, like the wisdom that they have. You have the opportunity to grab a hold of some of the wisdom so that you know what to do with your team. You know how to be professional with your parents in your home daycare. You know how to professionally present certain documentation to get executed by your clients that's going to protect you. Okay? Because listen, the truth of the matter is, you're going to do what you do every day and love it. But the minute the shit, and forgive my language, hits the fan, like it stops you. So why not put certain measures in place to prevent that from happening? Now, I'm not even going to be able to put this video out there because I'm getting emotional in my words. Okay. So I just want to speak with you guys. Like, that was really heavy on my heart. And I want to talk to you about protecting your business integrity, because that's what it boils down to. All it takes is one person. All it takes is one person for you to have to say to a parent, I'm sorry, but I can't take your child no more. Bam! Integrity in the community gone. Literally. You don't have things in place to protect you from that. That's all it takes. All it takes is one parent to say, "Listen, I don't have the, I can't pay you. That's this week. Next week comes, I can't pay you." Like, right? And you have to reprimand certain things. Boom, integrity gone. Now you're this and you're that and everything else in between. It's so important to build trust and transparency through your policies, procedures, risk mitigation, contingency plans. That's all out and open. You're building that trust. Understand this. You're building that trust and you're being completely transparent. There's no stones unturned. No one could say, oh, I didn't know. That's why these measures need to be put in place. You've got to know and what you're mitigating in terms of risks. And you've got to let your client, your teachers, the state, the officials coming in, okay, to serve in your program, the food program people, the specialists that are coming in to serve children with speech, PT, OT, all of this other stuff, people you're vetting, people that you're having come in for tours. You've got to be able to communicate effectively to prevent your risk. Like there's risk amongst all of this. And I'm not saying this to scare you because by all means, please, I told you if I had to do it all over again, I would. I would. No problem. I loved every second of it. But what I did not like, what I didn't have in place in the beginning, for example, something very simple, a specialist coming to do speech services for a child. Very simple. Very simple. You got a program in a home, you got a program in a center. It happens. Children need speech services, right? They come in, the specialist comes in. Hey, how you doing? Fine. Blah 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 blah. Okay, here you go. You think there's any risks in that? I wish I could talk to you because you probably would say no. But I'm going to say to you, oh yes. Okay? So here she comes to do speech services. She takes her pocketbook and she puts it down on the table and she's working with, with Mary. She's working with Mary, doing speech services, blah, 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 eyes to eyes, right? Is there any risk in that? Yeah. In her pocketbook, maybe she's got medication. Okay. You don't know what's in her bag. In her pocketbook, there is medication. She's not paying attention because she's working with Mary. Here comes Tommy. He's, children can be manipulative, they can be sly. Listen, kids can do it without you even knowing. His hands go in her bag, and before you know it, boom, accident happens. Now, you didn't think there was any risk involved in that, right? This is the type of mitigation that I am referring to. This is what I'm talking about. He goes into her pocketbook. He thinks it's candy. Whose center did this happen at? Whose home program did this happen at? It happened at yours. Did you have something in place? Did you have a policy for visitors in place to protect you, your program? Probably not, because if you did, she wouldn't be putting her pocketbook down. Okay? Or when the professionals came into my program, they knew the pocketbooks stayed in the car. Okay? These are the policies that I'm referring to. You've got to be able to think out of the box at all of these different measures to protect you so you can do what you love doing. At the same time, not only is there something damaging that could result, you're now out of compliance. Do you realize you are now out of compliance? And legal protection is no longer yours. You don't have a policy. Like, seriously. Okay? Because there is a regulation that states about having these personal items in front of children. And it could get bigger than that. Bigger than that. Here's another one. You got an infant room? Kids, any child, infant, small, young, big, sleeping. They're napping. They nap, right? You think there's any risk involved in that? No, you don't think so, right? Kids are napping, the teachers are doing their things, right? If they're doing anything, they should be working, but whatever. Okay. Now, here's the thing. And I've gone into programs and I've seen this. Like, I don't understand. Teachers figure they get a break. Kids are sleeping. They on a break. They're on a break. Oh, they're on their phone now. They checking all this stuff. First of all, I had a policy for that, okay? But they checking their phones, yada yada. Kids are napping. They thinking, oh, whatever, they're sitting there, maybe two teachers in the room, and they're having a conversation with each other. They're just talking it up, right? Oh yeah, what'd you do yesterday, girl? Oh, I know. You know that Tommy's mom, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah. You think there's any risk involved in that? Oh no, the kids are sleeping. You think it's a break, right? Absolutely not. Do you know what could happen when a child is sleeping? Do you have a policy in place a special type of supervision during nap time? How many times are the children checked at nap time, right? Who's walking around the room actually observing and watching the kids at nap time, right? So I get it. They're cutting, they're preparing for the next craft, right? Here's the table. Two teachers are sitting at the table at nap time. Meanwhile, the kids are all in the background sleeping. Who's watching the children? Now it doesn't have to necessarily be you. You paying staff, or you're in your home daycare, right? And maybe you don't have certain things in place. Maybe you got an assistant. You walk up to your kitchen. The assistant's doing the thing. Anything can happen during nap time. Like I said, I don't want to scare you, but this is the reality. This is the reality, which is why you need risk mitigation in place. Your team, your parents, the state needs to know it. My team that worked for me knew my policies, procedures, and the regs so well that when they left my program and bumped into another state official, the state would say, "Oh, you worked for Miss Marjorie, didn't you?" Okay, because yeah, they needed to know it like the back of their hand. And this is the system that I'm going to be sharing at 360, to make sure that you know how to implement this. So don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable in your program. You need to prevent reputation damage. You need to prevent relationship damage. Like, all of this stuff is possible. Do you know that your teachers are having conversations, your team members, your assistants, your admin with your parents, right? So don't think you know everything that they're talking about, right? Do you have a risk mitigation policy and procedure in place for reputation damage because you decided to do something differently than what they were told? Because teachers or the teacher may not know how to communicate something specifically to a parent. This is the reality. I shared this once on this channel, and I never forget, still to this day. I had someone say to me, she used to give us training and so on. I really looked up to her, and her words to me were, "Parents will always be your best friend. You think, oh, you're doing right by their kids, and they come in, they talk with you, they brought you donuts and some coffee, right? They made a lasagna for the team. Oh, Mother's Day came, they bought gifts for everybody, right? Parents will always be your best friend until something happens to their child. And then they become your worst enemy." Never forget those words. So when I talk about risk mitigation and contingency plans, this is the type of policies and procedures I am referring to. How do you mitigate these type of risks? And in the event a situation happens, what's the plan? What is the contingency plan that everyone is operating under? So at Childcare 360 on May 17th and May 18th, if you're looking to start a business, start a child care center. I don't care if it's tomorrow or next year, you need to be in the room. If you are a child care business owner right now, an owner of a center or a home, you need to be in the room. If you are a provider, you need to be in the room. The only titles that should not be in the room are teachers, because this is more for the higher level, for the ones who write paychecks or are operating in the administrative office, working in the administrative office. I'm going to be telling you exactly what the strategy is for these policies, procedures, and risk mitigation plans that you need to put in place. And then we're going to be working together to create one, to create one. When I was a provider, I remember sitting in trainings and saying to myself, oh my goodness, I'm watching the same video again. Like I wanted to learn, I was hungry to learn something new. I was hungry to learn like about the business and other things that I could do, right? To keep my business going because I wanted to grow my business. It was great learning about brain development and different arts projects that I could do and developmentally appropriate practices. But no one was really teaching on these measures, which is just as important because you need to have them in place so that you could continue operating and providing in your program. So if you have not signed up for Childcare 360, the discounted tickets end this week, and you can get more information or register at childcare360.info/intensive. If you are on Facebook and LinkedIn, there's a QR code right on the screen that you can scan. If you are on IG or TikTok, go to my bio and there's a link there. You click and it brings you right to the registration page. This information is going to be life changing for you. You who are thinking about starting your business need to make sure that you've got all of these measures in place. Also, this week, guys, I'm going to be putting out on all of my social channels um, a free coffee chat that I'm going to be inviting you to because I want to chat with you, right? So we're going to meet on Zoom. I'm going to share information. You'll be able to answer questions, and we're going to have a conversation around this, right? I'm going to give you all of the information that you need as well, okay? Well, some information, and we're going to have a conversation. So, if you're interested in coming to the coffee chat, keep an eye out for it. Today is Tuesday. So, by Thursday, there'll be a registration link for it. Registration link by Thursday so that you could come out into the coffee chat and let's have this conversation. This is life saving information that I wish I knew. It would have saved me a lot of headache. A lot of headache when those parents ditched and didn't want to pay. A lot of headaches when the teachers that I fired decided that they want to try to get back. Okay? A lot of headaches from state when they accused me of certain things and I had to go through trauma in order to clear my name. Okay? A lot of headaches. These things are real. Yeah, they're real. So, do not think for any minute that you are exempt because you're not. No one is. No one is. But what you are and can do to keep in control, right? You are in control. You can gain the knowledge that you need, and then you have your armor. You have your armor, and you're protected, and you know what you need to have in place. Simple. Couple of forms, a couple of documents, right? Just like you need your registration form, your blue card, your immunization, right? Just like you need your healthcare policy, just like you need your emergency preparedness plan, all of that, you also need your risk mitigation plans. And this is what no one is talking about. I'm talking about it. So I hope this information has helped someone tonight. I'm your childcare business franchise coach. I've gone from in-home daycare to childcare center, now franchise brand, multiple sites. What I do is I help you start your business with the right framework. Make sure that you have everything that you need in place so that you could start your business off with confidence. And that's what you need, right? When you know what you know, you're confident and you're able to stride through it. If you need that business plan, so that you can lay out that framework that you have in your head of what you're visualizing, plot it out over a certain number of years, put different systems in place that you're going to be incorporating, how you're going to be unique in the marketplace. I'm your person for that as well. So, everything involved in getting your program started, growing, and scaling is what I do. All right. So, I hope that's been helpful tonight. I'm proud of myself. I got through it without getting emotional. So, with that, I'm going to be ending the live. If anyone has any questions regarding Childcare 360, please send me a DM. But you can go to www.childcare360.info/intensive for more information. Let me see if I have any comments in here. Anyone have any questions? Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, you can have a daycare, yes, for special kids. Yep. Special needs. There's plenty of special needs programs. We've got Mississippi, Georgia. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys for staying on. I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Please leave comments below. I'll check them out afterwards and I'll get back to you. Marjorie Mallard here, your childcare business franchise consultant, always here to empower, inspire, and educate you as you get started on your journey to entrepreneurship and childcare business ownership. I'll see you on the other side of your greatness. Have a great night, everyone. Blessings.